Sweeper. It's fine. Please welcome the very ballsy mystery guest.
Hello! 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 Oh, there's music and everything? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! You guys, this is only my second time being on stage ever. Were any of you here for my last stage show? It was a couple of days ago. No? Thank you! Oh my goodness, this is amazing. So, you guys, the greatest thing happened. Like a couple weeks ago, I was practicing my alphabet with some of you, and thank you, puppy. Hello. Oh, my adoring fans. It feels weird to say that. This is only my second time being on stage ever. Oh, yes, A for Apple, A for Abby. Yeah, so I was practicing my alphabet with some of you folks, and hello, fellow Clawdio. And the MC saw, and he said he wanted to give me my own show, and because there aren't enough crabs that have stage time here, so he said that I could have story time, where I tell stories to all of you folks. So, yeah, it's story time. So this is how story time works. I will start a story, and then each of you can make objects, and I will incorporate those objects into the story. Okay, so let me start. And this is so I can practice my storytelling skills, because I'm going to be a famous book writer when I grow up. And I'm going to write epic novels about crabs and about everything. Biographies and fantasies and sci-fi and everything you could imagine. So I gotta start practicing my storytelling skills somewhere. So let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a little crab named Abby. And Abby decided she wanted to go on an adventure. So she pulled out her map to try to figure out where to go. And she was looking at the map and thinking about all our options, and she got hungry and decided that she wanted to try some cat food, because Vicky was eating it, and it looks really good when Vicky eats it. And she decided to eat it with a fork, though, because, you know, the way that the cats eat it, just putting it into their mouths, it's just, she thought it was kind of gross. So she tried eating the cat food with a fork, and it was still just as gross with the fork. So then she went and got some MC-shaped ice cream, and it was good. But it didn't satisfy all her cravings the way that salt does, because everyone knows that crabs love eating salt. One day, then after she ate some salt to satisfy her cravings, she went over to the house and saw the MC on stage. And the MC said, "Oh, hey there, little crab. You're the one that I gave the show to, right? How's that going?" And she said, "Oh, it's going good. I've done one show so far, and but maybe I was thinking I could add something to my show. Maybe in addition to storytelling, we can do some sword fighting. So I could have an audience member come up to the stage, and we can use swords and shields and have a little joust." And then she said, "Oh, well, that's not really something I want to have on the stage." And so Abby decided that it made her so mad that she wanted to stab him with a fork, but she didn't, because Abby only stabs things and not living creatures. And then Abby decided, if I want to do a stage act with somebody else, I want to partner up with Gerald because Gerald is so adorable and sweet. So Abby decided that she was going to find Gerald and ask Gerald to work on a show together. And she brought him a golden apple as a token of appreciation because Abby sometimes considers the apple her symbol because it starts with A, you know. It's her favorite letter. She loves the alphabet. So she brought this golden apple over to Gerald. And she said, "Hey, Gerald! It's me, Abby Crob. Do you want to do a show with me? I've always admired your work. And I think it would be really cool if we could work on something together." And Gerald said, "Of course, but there has to be fireworks and guitar music in the show or I'm not going to do it because those are my favorite things to see in a show." And Abby said, "Well, I don't know how to make fireworks and I also don't know how to play any instruments, but we'll make it work." So Gerald said, "Okay, we'll have to hire people who know how to do that." So they were heading back to the stage when they ran into a group of 4 people with masks. And there were 2 crab masks and a druid mask and a star mask. And Abby asked, "Hey, friends, do any of you know how to make fireworks and or play the guitar?" And they all said yes. And Abby and Gerald said, "Yeah, great. You can join our new band that we're putting together. We're gonna do a show." And they all snapped their fingers in excitement because they can't really talk. And then they made a golden onion to give to Abby in appreciation for the offer of being a part of their show. So then they all got on stage together, and Abby sang a song, and Gerald danced, and the masked people, they made fireworks and played instruments, and it was a beautiful show, and everybody clapped, and everybody threw onions to the stage in appreciation, and they ate all the onions, and they were delicious. And after the show, Abby and Gerald and their friends, they were saying, "Oh yeah, that was a really good show, but I think the one thing that we could have added was an acoustic guitar too, because some people don't like electronic music, so we'll have some variety in the show." So they agreed to work on that for next time, and the MC came in and said, "That was a really great show. You guys should do it again." And they said, "Okay." And they were really, really happy because it was a really fun time that everybody had together. And Gerald got so happy that he turned gold because that's something that he can do in this imaginary world that I am making up right now. And so Gerald turned gold, and everybody was so happy that they decided to celebrate by all becoming giant. And then they were having so much fun being huge, but then they realized that when they were all giant, they couldn't all fit on the stage anymore. So they had to be normal sized again if they wanted to do their show again. But it was fun to pretend to be a different size for a while. But then they decided that they would all become tiny, and they could do this because of the masked people's their abilities to do magic and cast spells and stuff, which is really super cool. And so they became tiny, and then they were too small on the stage to do their show because nobody could really see them in the audience. And so then they realized that, even though it's kind of a little bit more boring for us, being regular size is This is strategically the best way to do a show because you're the same size as your audience and everybody can see you and you fit on the stage. But it's fun to become different sizes, and even though Abby is already smaller than most people. Oh, hey! Welcome to story time with Abby. We're in the middle of the story, but let's start a new story. So they all lived happily ever after and did their show every night, and it was a sold-out crowd, and they always got lots of applause, and they were all very happy. The end. All right. So let's do a new story. Okay, so yeah, for you who just got here, I'm practicing my storytelling skills, and the MC gave me a storytime show that I can do on this stage. And so what we're doing is I start a story, and then you create objects, and I incorporate the objects into the story. And this is practice for when I become a famous book writer. And oh hey, we're just about to start a new story time. So I'm gonna start telling a story, and then you make objects and I incorporate them into the story. So, once upon a time, there was a cat named Vicky who loved wet food. And Vicky, had a giant rose that somebody gave to her because they loved her so much, and that somebody was Abby Crowd, because Abby is a very big fan of Vicky the cat. So she made a giant golden rose for her, but then Vicky said, I don't need that, just give me some wet food and I'll be fine. And then Abby said, okay, what if I make you a fork to eat your wet food with? A golden fork. And Vicky said, no, I really prefer just eating it, just, tossing it in my mouth. And, oh, hey, you're just in time for story time. We started a new story. So Vicky said, I don't want to eat my wet food with a fork, because I just like eating it, just, tossing it in my mouth. So then, but she said, I appreciate the sentiment. So Abby was trying to think of another way that she could show her appreciation to Vicky, because honestly, watching Vicky doing the wet food song on stage is the biggest thing that inspired Abby to want to do a show on the stage. So she tried to think of how else can I show Vicky my appreciation aside from giving her a bunch of wet food. So she decided to make a coaster, but put Vicky's picture on it instead of the picture of the ship that's on all the coasters here. So, and Vicky said, oh, that's really nice, thank you. I can put my wet food cans on top of this coaster. It's really nice and decorative. And Abby said, okay, that makes me happy. Now I'm gonna go on another adventure. So she went and found her favorite puppy. And the puppy's name was Candy. So Abby and Candy the puppy just left Vicky after giving her the wet food on a coaster, personalized coaster. And they decided that they really needed to get some eggs because they wanted to make an omelet. Crabs and dogs both like omelets. Oh, hello!
Is that you, Abbey Crab?
Yeah!
Hello, everyone. I'm Prince Clawdio, of course.
Oh, hi, Prince Clawdio! Oh my goodness.
Hi, yes. I do love to play music. What's going on here? What's the stage show about?
It's story time! See, when I grow up, I want to be a famous book writer, so I'm practicing my storytelling skills on stage. I start a story, and then the audience makes objects, and I incorporate them into my story. So I was just telling a story about,
Really?
Vicky the cat. You know Vicky. Of course you know all the cats.
Of course I know Auntie Vicky.
Yeah.
Well,
And
show me how
part
it
of
works.
the whole cat family. Okay, so I start a story, And I'll start a new one. Once upon a
Careful with
time...
that sword, please.
Yes, be careful. Remember, I always say, only stab things. Don't stab living creatures. That's my motto in life. So, once upon a time, there was a kitty named Prince Clawdio. And he... needed to,
Thank you.
print some files out, some important cat-related documents.
That's right, of course.
So he decided to go to the printer, and he always took his trusty golden sword with him, just in case he needed to defend himself. And on the way to the printing shop, he decided that he was getting a little bit hungry, so he decided to go for a snack. And what did he have for his snack? He had some cheese and crackers and onions. But it just didn't have the same feeling that a nice big can of wet food had. Ooh,
Careful!
oh, that's quite large.
Do be careful, that's the royal sword!
Be careful, that's really big.
Thank you. Alright, keep going.
Do you want to come up here and tell a story with me?
Well, sure. Alright.
Yeah, do you like telling stories?
I've really never tried much, but I suppose I do like playing music, and that's kind of like telling stories, isn't it?
Oh, that's great. I don't know how to play music, so that's something we can teach each other. Okay, so in my story, Clawdio just printed some important cat documents because he is, he's trusted with lots of important things because he's part of the royal
I am the
family.
prince.
Of course.
Right, and so
And he had his sword and his shield because, you gotta protect yourself when you're part of the royal family. And while he was walking back with his documents, he ran into somebody. Who did he run into? He ran into the MC and Gerald. And they said, hey,
bring back the
Clawdio,
royal
what are you
sword,
doing?"
you!
Yeah, come back. Don't steal. That's not nice. Oh, Clawdio, are you still here? Oh, he must have chased after the people that had his sword. Oh boy. I'll see you next time. Oh, that's his sword? Where did he go? Is he not up there? Okay, I guess I'll try to give this back to him. I don't know where he went. That is quite peculiar, isn't it? Oh, he's not back there. He's not over here. Huh. Well, thanks for coming to story time. I feel like that just kind of derailed the whole thing. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But hey, can I see your sword real quick? I just think it'd be really fun to stab things with. They call me Stabby Abby for a reason, you know. But don't stab Gerald! Gerald's nice, even though that's not the real Gerald, I know. But it's just, he's too cute. I just like just stabbing, like, the sand. Woo! Whee! Stabby, stabby, stab, stabby, stab, 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 stabbity, stab, 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 Stabby Abby! Yay! Okay. Yeah. I've never met Clawdio before. Oh. Oh, I guess my
ladies
time
and
is over.
gentlemen,
But it's
our
time for
next act
Chad!
is scooped directly
My
from the
favorite!
loop and here by popular demand.
Gerald! I'm your biggest fan!
It's Gerald.
Yay! Everybody,
Isn't he
everybody clap for
something?
Gerald! Yay!
Now, I've never used this before,
I love
but
you,
let's give it a whirl.
Woo!
Gerald, how are you enjoying the under? Interesting. He doesn't care for the service. Now, if you'd like a chance to communicate with this magnificent creature yourself, head on up to the Aikman, where Gerald will be waiting to welcome you back.
Gerald!
He's counting on you.
Yay! We love you, Gerald! Whee! Oh, bye, Gerald! That's my favorite show. I love Gerald so much. He's so cool. Yeah, I guess now that my show's over, you gonna go hang out with my family?
Now, our next act is here
Okay.
to remind us that
introduce you
just
to some of my
because you're
crowd
a
brothers and
gill-bearing
sisters.
aquatic craniate who lacks limbs with flexible digits, that sure as hell doesn't mean you can't dance. Please, put your fins together for the Sashimi Mimis.
Oh, that's a fun group.
I guess that being a gill-bearing aquatic craniate who lacks limbs with flexible digits also doesn't preclude you from getting a little bit of stage fright.
Stab the ground,
Let's
but don't
remind
stab
the
the other
Mimis
crowd.
what a
Oh!
warm crowd we've
Oh,
got
yeah,
out
that
here
one.
tonight
Really
by throwing our fins together with
Okay, who are you?
little extra
I sometimes
bits.
have trouble telling them
You
apart
can
except
do
for
it.
their little
Sashimi
tattoos.
Mimi.
So, who's this one? Who's this one? Oh, where'd you go? Okay. Oh. Okay. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah. You can make him kiss. Cute. That's so cute. Yay. Yeah. So all the crabs are part of the same family, technically. But I just call them all my brothers and sisters because it's like hard for me to remember who's who. But yeah. Who are you? Oh, that one is Sylvia. She's super chill, but you know, sometimes when you get a sword into her hand, she gets a little angry. I can't tell who this one is because they're gold now. I can't see their little tattoos. I don't have one of those. I think it's because everyone knows who I am because I can talk. And most crops can't talk. Oh, hi, doggy. I love you. Aw, so cute. Ooh. You made that one big. Who are you, big crab? This is my... Oh. Oh. That one is Olive. She's, Olive's kind of she always sucks up to the Crab King. She has big ambitions, and, good luck to you, Olive. Oh, that's still Sylvia. I love you, Sylvia. Sylvia's super chill. She's really easygoing, and I like hanging out with her because she always just lets me do whatever I want.
My favorite star of stage and screen Cream,
Oh, hi.
the long dead, ever
Oh,
on
wow.
time, technophilic,
Oh, I'm just introducing people to my crowd family.
Perpetua.
Oh, that's big. Don't crush me with it. So something that I've been wondering is why the books don't open here? Because I want to be a famous book writer when I grow up, and but people can't read my books if they can't open them, right?